strange if somebody else would be speaking to you. So welcome back to the second part of the step 3 process of the E2N Nurture program. And in this part, we or you will uncover the promise of food. Okay, so listen to this. Human behavior is driven by purpose and intention. So everything that we do, there is a reason behind it, right? We don't invest any time or energy into a behavior, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that on some level is not benefiting us. Okay, we always want to have some kind of payoff, a benefit. At some point in your life, food will have served you a purpose, and you've uncovered that in the previous video. It has done something for you. It has helped you. It has fulfilled a purpose. It met a need that you had. It helped you to feel better, to get through difficult times. And it's the same like alcohol, drugs, or sex, or shopping, or whatever. And for us foodies, it kind of is food, right? So it's important that you understand that food has a fulfilling purpose in your life. And not just to satisfy your physiological hunger, it also fulfills an emotional need. Okay? So every time you turn to food or you feel like you really want to dig into something, you can see that as a sign, as a symptom that something is going on inside of you and that the food is actually promising you something, right? It's promising you. And I don't know about you, but food definitely used to speak to me. It used to call me and it used to say things, eat me, and I eat me. I'm gonna make you feel so relaxed and so warm and cuddly inside, and I'm gonna take your stress away. I'm gonna make you feel less lonely, and I'm gonna, help you to not think about this stuff anymore. So for most people, eating or not eating is a way to manage their anxiety. It's a way of managing their internal world. And this is why it's also called an anxiety binding mechanism. Now, not if you just eat to satisfy your physiological hunger. This is like emotional eating and overeating and even undereating. It has a payoff. It gives you something. And eating can be an anxiety binding mechanism because it's helping you manage that underlying emotion and underlying anxiety. And it means that it's a way to deal with your anxiety. Anxiety binding mechanisms, they can be internal or external. And external ones are where we project our inner emotions and fear and anger and upset out onto someone else or onto the world. So we can be angry with God or mad with the universe or believe that the world is just unfair and unjust, or we can attack and blame others, that it's their fault that we feel this way and it's, up to them to change it and to make everything better. Or it can be internally where we turn our pain and upset towards ourselves, and that can look like self-harm. It could be drinking or drugging, eating, self-scrutinizing, that negative mind chatter. So whenever you want to turn to food, it's other than, you're really hungry. It's because that there's something going on inside of yourself. And I know I'll keep repeating myself, but repetition is the master of learning, right? So it's not because I don't have anything else to say. It's because I really want to hammer down this message on you. And food is promising you something, okay? It holds a promise for you. Now the question is, which one? So do this little exercise with me, okay? Think about a typical time when you would turn to food. And what is your go-to food? Right? So, for example, it may be chocolate, it may be cookies, or maybe ice cream, or it may be pizza, or it may be cheese, So when would be a typical time that you would eat that? At 3 p.m. afternoon at your work, where that kind of after lunch drip hits you and you feel bored and you have to do those emails and you can't be bothered, or whenever you feel lonely or upset and angry and mad, or maybe it's late in the evening or in the middle of the night, or whenever you're going to a barbecue and celebrating. So imagine you having that moment, right? Pick one specific example and imagine that food could speak to you in that moment, right? Imagine that cookie could speak to you, that chocolate, that, I don't know, pizza, bread, whatever it is. What would it be saying? What are the things that it would lurk you in, trying to convince you to eat it and to keep eating it? And this, whatever is coming up there, is the promise that food holds for you, that specific food in that specific situation. So how can you stay in charge over your eating, and how can you stay sane? So number one, get clear on what you are really hungry for. Right? When you notice yourself, with that uncomfortable restlessness, I need something, ask yourself, what am I really hungry for right now? What do I really need? How do you really feel underneath your cravings? Are you stressed? Are you anxious? Are you overwhelmed? Are you sad? Are you lonely? Get clear on what do you need and how can you give it to yourself. So what do you really, really need, and how can you, taking charge of your emotions, give it to yourself? It is not food's job to take care of your emotions. It's yours. It's not food's job to take care of how you're feeling on the inside and make you feel good. It is your job to put your big girl's pants on and become emotionally accountable for your own inner world. Now, I want to invite you to another exercise. Go to your worksheet and look at the detailed instructions for this particular exercise. The intention for this exercise is to help you release food of its old function to be your emotional crutch, and to complete this relationship so that you can open yourself up for a new format, for a new way you want to relate to food. You have to let go of the old in order to make room for the new. So, write a letter, a completion, a thank you, a goodbye letter to your good old friend food. And there are a few things that I want to point out to you that make this experience even more healing. So start or think like you are talking to an old friend. So use a tone that is loving and familiar and just friendly. Start off by saying, my dear old friend food. List exactly the different ways food has supported you over the years. Be grateful, express thanks and gratitude for the work that food did for you, how it helped you, how it served you. And then also share with how come it is no longer supporting you on your new path. Make a conscious and deliberate declaration of the internal resources that you are now drawing to so that you can support yourself in being your own emotional crutch. Declare the new relationship you have with food and make a commitment to honor yourself in your process. If you want, feel free to share this letter with us in the group. I am sure we would love to support you and celebrate this with you. Keep this letter somewhere safe and sacred and refer back to it whenever you feel you're getting off the track. Okay? So light a candle, get out some pen and paper, and I encourage you to do pen to paper and not on a computer because it is more healing to actually write. So take some time, schedule in your calendar and write this letter. and I will see you over in the next module. Bye!